What?
Because I hadn't hit the streaming button yet.
What?
So goddamn impatient.
I'm going to report you. God damn it.
No, feel free.
You're being reported, sir.
Okay.
I'm talking to your manager.
You are my manager.
Yeah, I manage things. That's what I do.
I got it. That was way harder than it should have been. I think I'm going to label it. Well, if it was mine, I would label it. It came with a cat sticker.
Could be.
Aww.
Hey,
Where are your cats?
Well, there's one right there. Behind me.
At least they're not chirping the whole time.
several
yet.
more will be by shortly.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
It's going to happen. You can't stop it.
Yeah, when we play in the morning, I hear the cats almost as much as I hear Carol.
I had a friend come over and work from my house because her electricity was still out, and we determined that Artemis does not like speakerphone because she was doing a meeting on speakerphone, and Artemis just trudged right up and knocked the damn phone off the table.
Wow.
Like, enough of that nonsense.
F that.
Voice from beyond, be gone.
It pays me enough to deal with that shit right there. Go. All right, so you want to start this or something?
Yeah, I believe we are live and rolling.
Sure. So then, since it's that time. Happy Star Wars Month, everyone! It's GRD SWeekly! Woo!
That's right, it is. Oh, doesn't sound like we can hear the music.
Why can't you hear the music?
Nope, I don't hear music.
That doesn't make the slightest bit of sense. It's coming through. Well, then nothing's gonna play. It's not gonna work. That's.
I mean, I can play it on my end. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but
Whatever. You know, it. Then there's no point playing the intros. There's no point playing the intros.
Try it again, Flynn. Try it again.
It's
Try
playing
something.
right now.
yeah, but we cannot
Check
hear
the
it.
cord.
So
I understand.
I
That.
think
That's my
the
whole point.
issue is that whatever is coming out to us is not routing through the computer, which is one
It is.
of the. No, it's not, because we'd be able to hear it if that's the case. So, I think what may be going on
Whatever.
is that that might be the reason why we're hearing the microphone from the laptop and not from the soundboard, because the soundboard's not going out to Zoom.
Zoom is set to play the microphone from the USB audio device, the speaker from the USB audio device. The same setting we've used every time where you could hear stuff.
Did you change that at all for the
Last time you restarted your computer.
What was that the same setup that you were using at the con?
Raven.
No, at the con, you just have the goddamn H2 sitting there by itself with not plugged into anything.
When was the last time you restarted your computer?
You know, it doesn't matter. What the hell happened, and now we're not going to play any songs and sounds because it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, and we're doing a podcast.
Yes, and we're live right now. You want me to restart my computer while we're live?
It may be more interesting than. Anyway, whatever.
Oh,
It's your
okay.
show.
No,
Do whatever you want.
You're right. It might be more interesting to do that. Fine. Let's do that.
Tech issues with Billy Flynn.
I guess we should do a little soft shoe or some kind of.
So he's going to go ahead and restart it. Hopefully it'll the sound will actually come through the stuff.
Oh yeah, I just added RavenCon to my Geeky Week. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, we did that thing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I was sitting there looking at mine going, why do I have such few things? Oh, because I did 2 cons back to
Yeah.
back.
But I actually have a lot because it's really been. I mean, we did Geeky Week at the con and everything, but still, so yeah. Whew, I'm tired today. I was like, I mean, I'm still like super looking forward to having a show, GRD, but like it's been a week.
It has. It's been a
Well, it's been
yeah,
4.
year. For you, 2.
Yeah.
Correct?
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Someone didn't come to Raven.
What did you do with yourself with a free extra night? Of Thursday. I guess we technically all had a free extra Thursday night. Oh, it was my birthday.
That's right.
Oh, happy
I
birthday.
didn't do anything. I packed for RavenCon is what I did. But
Yeah,
it was
Drace,
fun.
what we'll do is when he comes back, we'll see if it's coming through. If it isn't, then we'll I've got
We'll just
some
go
of
with
the
it.
sounds But and actually, so let's find out.
We're just
Oh,
need everybody to yell ding simultaneously.
can you hear this? No. Okay. That might be something that I can fix. I won't have like some of the other stuff. Okay. Yeah. Drace will be able to hear it. I think because of routing it through. I would need to route it through Zoom. So that's going through, it shouldn't be what? So, instead of just joining the other meeting, Flynn killed that one and is starting a new one. So, whilst we are waiting, through different sources. So, for those of you who don't know, the way that we do this is Billy, and I apologize for the lack of a picture on there right now. But Billy, he tends to run the Zoom meeting that collects us all, and I'm actually capturing the Zoom window. So that's one of the reasons why it can be a little tricky when some of the sound is coming out through the various ways that Billy has it connected. So there we go. So we've got another meeting coming up. All right, there we go. All right, I've got you now. Oh, by the way, the previous, in case you didn't know, the previous meeting actually switched to me being the host. So if we ever have to do this again, we should be able to join in Billy on the previous meeting.
Hi there.
So because we were still in that meeting right after
cool.
you left, but you're sounding a lot better. Can you hit us with some audio?
Hold on. Let me load the goddamn stupid fucking program that doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter. That's why we wanted you to reboot.
Dude.
Hmm?
Will you open the goddamn program already? For the love of Christ, open the fucking program.
We got music. Nice.
Okay, doesn't make it. Okay, what the fuck ever.
Woo.
All right.
It's just the number one thing that fixes everything. It clears all the caches.
Stop.
Oftentimes. Okay. All right. Okay. You want to take a breather take a pause for a moment, Billy?
Whatever the hell. Just whatever.
Okay. Well, then we are ready to go whenever you are ready to go, sir.
Hey, everybody. What'd you do, Geeky? There you go. Done.
Well, no, because we have the music and stuff now. We can do
You want
like
to play the actual thing now?
Yeah.
Yes, that's why we're here, dude. Let's
Hey,
go.
take two.
All right.
There we go.
GRD SWeekly, I don't know, something. Anybody?
313.
Sounds right.
Is it
I'll
12?
take it.
Somewhere around there.
I think 12 was RavenCon.
Oh, okay.
You should have effing been there, dude.
I couldn't, though. Such a bummer.
No, that's just your nonsensical stuff that's talking. Hey, everybody, welcome to this nonsensical thing that GeekRadioDealer.com with all of our wonderful goofiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we set you, yeah. So when I started another meeting, it killed the meeting?
Yeah.
That shouldn't have happened, should it?
When you started a new one, it did.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
But it shifted me to host. Tech issues, guys.
I mean, It's a long story tradition for GRD, from people kicking out the cord at Dragon Con to whole shows being lost. We just roll with it, right?
So the
Exactly.
lady that welcomes you all, it's the Flinstress.
You're just in time for tea. That's what we call it when we drink too much in the afternoon.
The woman who had a very
Like
interesting
day
time
drinking.
at RavenCon. It is Carol the cat.
I've got images in my brain I'll never get out.
The man who is really great at dealing with the social niceties. It's podcasting Fritz Siegfried.
Concerning your breath, did you recently eat a dead rodent?
I'm the guy who's making all kinds of confessions. I'm the wonderful Billy Flynn.
Just so you know, I used to be really hot.
I did. It's a shame. What happened there, yo?
And you still
Tons
are.
of stuff.
Uh,
Well, I'm going to start with
Delighted.
RavenCon. Woo!
Yeah, I know. How was it?
So when last we, talked with you, we were doing our live show, and it was super fun. We did Oh Hell No and Show Enough with Mark, even though he had been like on our show before. He had never played the game, and it's hard when you know somebody really well. It's a lot easier when it's somebody that you don't know, or because then it's hard. It's easy. You haven't heard all their stories, right? So, but it was still a pretty good time. You all right over there, Rich?
Yeah,
and
I spilled water on myself when I was drinking from my big cup, and I was trying to be subtle about it.
so you have a drinking problem.
Yes.
yeah, and a $50 cup. Anyway,
I didn't buy it.
No. And then directly after GRD, we met, MJ and I raced to like get all of our stuff, and we participated in this blanket fort competition. Right, so the way that this works is they give you 4 chairs for your like posts, which I didn't know they were going to give us chairs, because they said you had to bring everything, that you weren't allowed to use anything from the hotel, and this was the first time that we had done it. So there were some rules out there, but there weren't really a ton of rules, so we weren't like super prepared. But we brought so much stuff. The only thing is, as much as there are things that I really, really love about the hotel at RavenCon, the one thing I really don't love is where my car was parked in relation to where the blanket fort event was being held. And I have one of these like super huge beach wagons that I, soccer mom life, right? It took 2 full loads of the beach wagon to get all of the various crap that we had for our blanket fort. And here I'm thinking, yeah, we got a bunch of blankets and pillows and accessories. We had started out with a Star Wars theme, and then I was like, well, we have a good amount of Star Wars stuff, but if we do Star Wars and Disney over the top, we've got so much stuff for that, so many blankets and so many stuffed animals and everything. So we go,
And you're not
we go
violating
all
anything
out.
since, Disney owned Star Wars. So it all works together.
Right. When we went to Disney Hollywood Studios, it was very much Disney and Star Wars. So that was our theme. It seemed to go well together. And I thought we were going to do pretty well. No. So this was our first ever competition. And there were people there who clearly had done this before and also knew the actual like rules / parameters of what you could do. So people before they start putting any blankets or anything out, had brought with them poles and other structures like hoops and like roofs and a whole thing out of PVC pipe. And they're constructing this whole thing and then covering it up with blankets. And I was like, that kind of defeats the purpose. I was actually pretty impressed with what we were able to come up with based on the fact that we didn't have all of that. We just had our ingenuity. I wish I had remembered to bring the duct tape that I had left sitting in our hotel room. But other than that, like our blanket fort, I thought was pretty damn impressive, all things considering. The other problem was, oh my God, it was hot in there. So like Hunter was on our team and she helped us. She saved us. Like if she hadn't been there, it was me, it was MJ. One of her friends ended up joining in like halfway through doing this, but I was so exhausted. It was fun.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, like if we do it again, I'll be able to have like, like lessons learned. It's because you're supposed to have a straw. It didn't come with a straw, dude. Anyway, but yeah, so the blanket fort
my cup.
competition
It
was
did.
really
I
fun.
lost
So
it.
Oh, I thought she
If
was
I
talking
ever
about the
decide
blanket
to-
fort, the
So
straws.
did I was like,
Hell,
so first of all, we had to do rails, but nobody brought a straw.
well, one little piggy built the blanket fort out of straw, and the other little piggy built it out of eggs.
But only one straw. It's a very small fort.
Very small.
Teensy tiny.
What is it's like a blanket fort for ants. anyway, so if we do ever do it again at another venue where it's not as far to transport our stuff, we will definitely be way more prepared and have a super elaborate, like well planned out blanket for it. With like, I'm gonna like measure, like we are going to be like on it if I decide to ever do it again because whew, it was a lot.
I agree with
And
you.
then-
That seems like it's against the spirit of it if people are building ahead
Hiring
of time.
architects. and-
Some of these
I know.
people had
My
practiced.
ode to Frank Lloyd Wright.
They had practiced their builds before showing up.
I didn't realize this was
Mock
an
put it
actual
together.
competition. This
What-
is like
There
NASA.
was no monetary prize for this bullshit. I have no idea why they were going so hard.
Bragging
on
rights.
this. I
You
completely
think you know
underestimated
blankets?
I
the
think
blanket fort competition.
I think you also just came up with the perfect tagline for GRD. There is no monetary compensation for this bullshit. Please remember, guys, Patreon.
Right.
And you know,
Pay
it
for
would
my
have been a
new
lot
blanket
better.
fort obsession.
It would have been a lot better, but Mark figured that since he was the main host for this event, that he could tell dad jokes all the way through it.
Ugh, I wasn't even listening because I was too busy.
Well, no,
Oh,
good
and then
for
they were like,
you.
"Oh, you can bribe the judges." So we had
Yes,
had
you could
dinner
bribe the judges.
delivered. And so we shared our dinner. I was like, "Hey, we've got steak." So I cut up a bunch of steak and let them like actually have some of our dinner. It did not help because we did not win.
What?
And
Yeah, no.
and they and unlike the masquerade and a whole bunch of other things, they only did first, second, and third place. This was a
Yeah.
competition, no prize, but it
Nope.
was a competition,
Yep.
and we did not place in the blanket fort Olympics.
So
After that, go ahead.
no, well, just because Mark's stupid dad jokes. So because he was bugging me with it so much, I hit him with one that please add this to your repertoire. Are you ready?
All right.
It's like, hey, Mark, what do you get when you cross a rhetorical question and a stupid joke?
There is no response to it. I love it.
Let's
Well,
go.
then he's like, what do you get? And I just looked at him like, seriously?
my God.
Seriously?
Oh, that's
And
good.
then what'd you do?
Good, Terry. Yeah, get some more light on that face.
And then I realized I was like, I can't see my face. And then you took MJ to the martial arts expo while I cleaned
Yeah.
up. And like, I didn't want to clean up by myself, but at the same time, it was very people-y. I just needed some time by myself. And so then I'm
So the
trying to
place
remember
she
what
does
you did.
martial arts did a demo there. So
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh,
people
cool.
that train her were there. Like, oh, cool. Yeah, we know you.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
wasn't there something else? You had the charity auction, but I thought there was something else before then. I don't even remember.
The blanket fort competition was before the charity auction.
Yeah, so I got her to sleep and then went out for a little bit, but I was wiped out. Like I
mean,
barely had energy for parties at all. I was so exhausted. And then Sunday I had a panel that was what even was my Sunday panel?
Was that the one
Like-
about future society things?
Yeah, that was Friday.
No,
Remember
okay.
Yeah.
we talked about that on GRD.
And then,
It was like,
so I chose the randomest panels.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have to do some panels because you're a guest, and I didn't want to do like podcasting 101 again.
Again?
So I was just like, let me just pick ones that I think are fun. So I did like how to enter the masquerade. Everybody else is in full costume and is totally like professionals, and I'm like, oh yeah, last year my kid randomly wanted me to enter and I won best in show. And then but I was basically just talking about like the perspective of you don't have to be like serious, just get over your imposter syndrome and do it, right?
Good.
Um
Good.
and then the other one I was about like with like a whole bunch of real scientists and science fiction authors about whether or not we should colonize the moon or Mars and how that would go. And I was like, look, I don't have any credentials behind my name, but I have an opinion on how it should go. And honestly, though, those panels can get kind of boring, but I'm not going to let it get boring.
Yes.
Right?
We're
So I think it was
flavor
a good
guests.
time.
That's what we do. We're
Right.
flavor guests.
A little sprinkling all around. And as soon as I remember whatever the Sunday, oh no, I remember the Sunday one was the family friendly Jackbox. We did
Oh.
that.
Okay, yes.
So we did the adult version Friday night, and
we did.
that was crazy. And then the MJ really loves to play, and so she had a great time. So we did the family friendly version Sunday before we headed out. So yeah, and then besides RavenCon, I mean, I've been watching a bunch of stuff. Top Chef, we keep up with that and enjoy that. The Bad Batch finale, have you seen it?
Bad Batch finale.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
over.
I've not seen it yet.
That was
I'm
it.
not-
You have not seen it, Carol. Okay. So I'm not going to say anything, but it was just, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. But
It's not a
it was just
spoiler.
really-
It's not a spoiler
not
in
a
any way,
spoiler.
shape, or
Yeah,
form,
it's
but oh my God, they kind of set up a fantastic show I'd love to watch.
Right. Whether or not they actually ever make that show, I would watch that show.
That's it.
And I definitely cried. So, I mean, if you're prone to emotions, have some tissues ready. Let's see, Star Trek Discovery. We're still watching that, keeping up with that, enjoying that show very much. There's one of those waiting for us to watch it tonight. So that'll be fun. We finished up Fallout. Go ahead.
Did you happen to notice, though, that in Discovery we actually saw what the Breen looked like inside of their costumes? They introduced them in Deep Space Nine, and we've never actually seen what they look like.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and so it's like, hey, that's them. Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, they're building to this really big thing, this technology, like basically like what created life itself. And so, I mean, I don't know. There's no way that it's going to be climatic, but I mean, it has to be. I trust Discovery. I trust Star Trek on TV. I do. I'm watching it all. I'm enjoying it. I like Michael Burnham as a character. Like I'm just all in.
Such a great captain.
All of it.
Now, did the Breen to you look like when we were kids and there'd be like a Ghostbusters figure and it was supposed to be a ghost and it'd be green and kind of translucent, but you could still see the skeleton underneath it and stuff like that. We're just like, yeah, right. But like it's that, but with like a little flashlight behind it.
It did. Or it looked like a Green Lantern, but made out of plastic, like one of those. Yeah.
Oh, like if they had done the Ryan Reynolds movie with good special effects. Okay.
Right, exactly. So yeah, he looked like a construct. But yeah, that was pretty good. We finished watching Fallout, and yeah, that's a really good show. And I wish I could remember her name to give her a shout out. But on the cosplaying panel, she was cosplaying as, I think she was technically just somebody from Fallout, but because she had the blonde wig, she very much looked like the one who ended up with the eye patch. So her cosplay was really good, and she was one of the masquerade judges and did a good job. And saw a bunch of people at Ravenclaw. That's always fun. I feel like I never really get to talk to anybody for any length of time, but like it was still a good time. Dead Boys Detective. Okay, so this is in the Sandman universe. It's on Netflix, right? And it's two they're supposed to be teenagers, but I mean, they're played by actors in their 20s, and they're ghosts and solving ghost mysteries. And I like it because it's got just enough like supernatural and gore and but it never quite goes too far to the point where I don't want to watch it because I'm like not a particularly like horror fan. So it's like just enough of it without it being like too over the top, at least so far.
This was fantastic because I suggested this on hey, well, we could watch something. Well, we could watch this. It's just like, so what is that? And I'm like, well, they're dead boys who are detectives.
Yep.
So we've all seen at least a few episodes of this. Yes.
No, about halfway.
Okay. Okay, because there's something I want to say.
You can go ahead and talk about it.
Well, except for I'm halfway. So yeah.
But you've seen the first episode.
The whole season.
You've seen the first episode.
Oh yeah.
So we get a cameo from Death from Netflix's Sandman. Do you know that Death's scene, that Neil Gaiman wrote that scene?
No, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they're like, hey, Neil, we're going to do Death. Would you like to write? He's like, sure. So he's not writing the show, but he wrote that effing scene, and that's why it's so beautiful.
And it was really great.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that, in some way, shape, or form, Death will catch up to them at some point. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that was really well done. And it was nice because it fell through, right? Wasn't it supposed to be on one network or one streaming service?
Yeah. So it was not supposed to be connected to Sandman in any way, shape, or form because they were originally developing it for Max, I believe, because the Dead Boy Detectives actually appeared on Doom Patrol.
Oh, okay.
It was going to be a spin-off from there, which would have nothing to do with Sandman. And then that fell through, and Netflix picked it up. And then it went, well, wait a minute. If we're doing this, hold on a second. I know something we can merge that with a bit.
Cool. Yeah, but I like it because, like a good detective story, you're also sort of figuring it out along with them. Like, what could it be, that sort of whodunit kind of aspect? Or how do we break out of this puzzle? And, a lot of times they magical solutions, but they don't go too far with the whole, I'm going to dig in my bag and I'm randomly going to have the, shark repellent spray, the MacGuffin of it. So they're not overdoing it with, their supernatural solutions. So it's actually pretty cool. And they're trapped. So it's I'm actually I wasn't sure what that was going to be, but it's actually pretty fun.
It is quite. It is yes. It is a very good version of the characters in the comics.
Yeah. We're also still watching Tracker. I think it was episode 11 when he gets out of the shower. 11
2
or 12.
episodes ago, not the most recent, but 2 episodes
Right.
ago. You
Mhm.
catch him coming out of the shower in just a towel. Yes, we did.
But there's been a couple of haunted or supernatural kind of Tracker episodes. Like we watched one as like a double feature with Dead Boys Detectives, and it actually worked out pretty well. Like there was one where it was like like an old mental hospital, and maybe it was a witch kind of thing, and he had to find the girl. So, but yeah, it's fluff. Jensen Jensen Inkin. How do you say his last name?
Eccles?
Ackles. I was close.
Is going to be on the show.
He's going to be his brother.
He's going to be playing the brother who's been trying to call him all season.
Yeah, trying to get in touch with them, so that'll be fun. We also watched Star Wars Tales of the Empire. So you may have seen Tales of the Jedi they did in 2022, which was just like little shorts, and they weren't really that connected, except they kind of sort of were. These are more like when you watch the next episode, it's where it left off. So they should have just released it as like a movie.
It just should have been a movie.
But I
Yeah,
get major
shorts,
creds
right?
because I recognized somebody when they were younger, and I was like, "That's so and so,"
She
and then
recognized a live action character in a cartoon.
in a cartoon. The animation was good. Don't get me wrong, but still, I mean, it was a character who, like from The Mandalorian, and I was like, and yeah, I was right. So I thought that was pretty well done. Obviously, it's darker because it's Tales from the Empire, right? So it's Grievous and
Turn up your brightness.
yeah, people dying, and it was it's not lighthearted by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good storytelling, and enjoyed it. So I probably have forgotten like a bunch of other stuff, but I was gonna go ahead and say that has been my geeky week.
Cute.
Okay, so
We're halfway through.
I also went to RavenCon. Where I was
Yay!
and we did a live version of Terrible Movies with Wonderful People where we watched Attack of the Giant Leeches, which was terrible. It's truly terrible.
Not good.
Did a leech get you?
We also did our first caftans and coffee Sunday morning. So we dressed as Mrs. Roper and we had donuts and coffee, and we had about 20 people in there. So we had a nice little chat at the tail end of RavenCon.
I don't know how you guys do that kind of stuff. Like you guys think of it, people show you guys used to do theme parties themed around the room.
We did the room party.
Yeah.
Wow. Hi, Mark.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we met Oh Hi Mark, because he came to our the room party, and we played it all night. We had a football to throw around, spoons on the wall, and it was
spoons.
We also did Phantom of the Room party where we played Phantom of Paradise. And
God, that's a good time.
It is
Such a good time.
Then we decided room parties suck because people sit on your bed and they stay until 2:30 in the morning and you can't go to sleep.
Yep.
So
yep.
Yeah. So RavenCon was really fun. And then I decided, why not do another con the next weekend? I went to Atomicon in North Charleston. I went so I could get my paperbacks from Hell signed by Grady Hendrix, who was the author guest of honor. Did. I also won a Grady Hendrix book in the panel Name That Book.
Nice.
Where you have to guess books by one line. And I took first place, but I took the paperback rather than the hardback because I felt bad because I was a guest and the other person that won was in the audience. But
that is not the reason why. It's just, you told me what the real reason why was.
Why? Well, all my other ones are all my other books of his are paperbacks. So.
That's why. Because otherwise, it would throw off the whole feng shui of your bookshelf.
On the shelf.
You just put the hardback all the way up to the side and then have the paperbacks all next to it. But still,
unless it doesn't fit in that order.
That's true.
Because if there's more after that, throws it all off.
But then I also talked to Godzilla. We did a Godzilla panel. I did a Star Trek panel. And then I did a most anticipated horror movies of 2024 panel. So talked some neat stuff at Atomicon. It was a good time.
I'm there for that one.
They did a shadow cast of The Princess Bride, which was actually kind of fun.
Oh, fun!
I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And you don't have all of the Joss Whedon issues if you
Yeah.
can't get the rights to Rocky Horror. So I mean,
yeah. So there was that, and then other than that, I've watched some films. I don't remember what I said at RavenCon because I was just looking at my letterbox and I didn't look at the dates. But I want to shout out to Hundreds of Beavers again. It's not a porn; it's a really fun film.
Sure,
I
it's
think I
not.
accidentally rented that 13 or 14
not.
times last time I was at RavenCon.
Sure, it's not.
But it's a very fun film, and Late Night with the Devil, which is also that was one of my
Night
most
with the devil.
Oh, I've heard good things about that too from other
Yeah.
sources. That's cool.
really great 70s aesthetic. I like the way they filmed that one. Night Swim is a terrible film. Don't bother. It's a haunted swimming pool. It sucks.
Oh yeah. On this one movie, yeah.
And then I went to the theater and saw Boy Kills World, which is the latest Bill Skarsgård movie.
Yeah, but spoilers.
What?
Oh, but is Corey and Topanga in it?
I know. Ryder Strong? Is it a tie-in to Cabin Fever?
Corey Matthews is not going to take it any longer.
Now, Mr. Matthews.
It's actually a really fun film with some really great action. The character that Bill Skarsgård plays doesn't talk. He only hears his voice in the head, and that's done by H. John Benjamin. So Archer is basically in his head the entire film. Or Coach McGurk, depending on which H. John Benjamin you
Who saw
want.
that coming?
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
And...
Bob's Burgers. Yeah, Bob's talking in his head.
Coach McGurk.
It's predictable, but it's really good, and the action is top notch. And then I watched The Pope's Exorcist, which is almost so bad it's good. It's just got a long, boring stretch, but man, it's almost worth it listening to Russell Crowe attempt an Italian accent for 90 minutes.
Well, we got that in, I think we got that in Thor Love and Thunder.
Take that cameo, expand it to 90 minutes, you have The Pope's Exorcist.
Wow.
He keeps that.
Wow.
I think you're overselling it now.
Plus, he rides a Vespa, and Russell Crowe's not a small man, so you just get this big dude in priest robes riding on his little Vespa.
So it's like a bear on a unicycle.
Wow.
Every time he was shown riding that damn Vespa. And this is like based on a real man, apparently. This Father Ameth was a real exorcist for the Vatican City. Incidentally, he rides that damn Vespa from Vatican City to Spain, apparently. It's based on a real guy who never rode a Vespa. So apparently the Vespa was Russell Crowe's idea.
Wow.
What we need to do. Okay.
The Vespa really ties the character together.
It does. It just his hat, his robe, priest robes blowing back with this tiny little. For you older
He
anime
didn't
fans.
suggest using butter.
For you older anime fans, he's like Witch Hunter Russell.
No. Ow. Look there.
But it's got long stretches of boredom. Unfortunately, I can't recommend it. It's just hi.
Poop-a-pa.
And other than that was my Geeky Week. I took 2 days where I just did absolutely nothing because I was tired. 2 cons in a row just really wears you out. It's mostly the driving. But yeah, that was my Geeky Week.
Okay. So I guess the one thing for RavenCon,
Yay!
thank you for somebody remembering, that we did not mention is Saturday morning. I moderated video game adaptations.
That's right.
So looking at our movie and TV adaptations of video games. Yeah. So does anybody remember what our first actual live action adaptation of a video game was?
Hubert.
It was actually the Super Mario Brothers movie.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Oh.
So there's that. So you know me. If you've ever been on a panel with me, I like to make things interesting. So when I introduced the guests, I said, and go ahead and tell us what your favorite one is, because no, I'm not going to wait and do that later in the panel. Let's get that right out of the way. But here's a weird thing for you. Someone on the panel whose name I can't remember, but it's in the show. It's because we posted the audio for that in the feed. Actually, even though it admits it's bad and terrible, actually truly does enjoy and likes the Street Fighter movie.
I mean, it's Raul Julia. Come on.
Yes, but his suit gives him CPR.
That's right. Oh my God.
If only life imitated art.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but look, I mean, he kind of looked like he needed CPR.
So there is that. There is that. And it was great because the whole time I'm telling everybody we're gonna get to Fallout, just not yet. The whole time we're doing the panel was great. It was a good time. I was asking for people's guilty pleasure. Because like, what's your guilty pleasure? Video game adaptation thing. And I even went old school, dude. I brought back the. Do you remember CBS Saturday mornings in the '80s when they did the Starcade?
Mm-hmm.
Where they had just like these random video game adaptations with no connection whatsoever. They had like a Donkey Kong and a pole position cartoon.
Didn't they have a Metroid one?
No.
I think
That would be good though.
Well, I think it was kind of part and parcel in Captain N, the Game Master.
Yeah. Because Mother Brain's in Captain N, so I think we got a little bit of it in Captain N.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think it had its own standalone one.
But one of the things that I stood up for is like, so, ever since we're doing this, there was a Dragon's Lair cartoon. And let's not forget, Dragon's Lair cartoon went to commercial. They gave you options of what Dirk the Daring could do in the situation that they set up. And when you came back from commercial, they showed you all the ones that sucked and which one actually worked. So they did find a way to kind of actually make it Dragon's Lair. So good on them, yeah.
Although Dragon's Lair was basically a cartoon anyway.
Yes. But you got to play a cartoon. It was incredible. Thank you, Don Bluth, wherever you are right now. Thank you, Don Bluth. So I finally knocked off Chucky Season 3 from my list. Because I had not done that one yet. And, wow. If you had told me at all. Huh?
It's a good show.
Oh, no, it's fantastic. If you love the insanity that was Bride of Chucky, the show itself is just a natural extension of this. But holy God, Season 3. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. I'm just going to say Season 3. Chucky's hanging out with the son of the president in the White House. Okay, look.
Wow.
So where are you going to go next season? I have no flipping idea. I haven't the slightest idea. But yeah, this season was just holy God. Because I was like, is this it? Is this going to be the final? Because where are you? This I don't know how you can go crazier than what they've done this season. Because let's not forget that last season Jennifer Tilly did join the show playing the human body version of Tiffany Masterson, the doll from Bride of Chucky, as well as playing Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
So Tiffany now inhabits the body of Jennifer Tilly, who has now been arrested and found guilty of 103 murders. Jennifer Tilly has been found guilty of 103 murders.
But if you've listened to an interview with Jennifer Tilly, you could be like, you know, in a weird way, she might have, but I still don't hate her. She's so charming.
And what's really great this season is
you know that men have rubbed out quite a few.
Look, I saw Bound. I saw Bound. Hey! I saw Moving Violations. Thank you. So in prison, because she goes to prison because she's going on death row now, she meets somebody that keeps talking about all the movies of Jennifer Tilly she loves, but they're actually movies that Meg Tilly was in. Which is great because Meg Tilly did show up last season.
Oh,
and I was
nice.
like, what the hell's going on here? And she was killed by Tiffany as Jennifer Tilly. So Jennifer Tilly killed her sister on Chucky. If you like Chucky stuff at all, seriously, this is an insane good time. And the gore effects, they're like, hey, we know you're here for the gore. They do stuff here that you wish you found on a scuzzy VHS tape in the back room of that local video store that was inside of the bookshop. Chucky is just out there. So I want to spend a lot of time on that because the only really other thing that I have on my list, I've spent a lot of time. My new laptop, which I keep bragging about how wonderful it is and how awesome it is and how it's going to play Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it came with 3 months free of the Xbox Game Pass thing, which I just never was like, whatever. However, Xbox Game Pass currently has Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Mm-hmm.
Holy hell! Is that game good?
Oh yeah!
Dear God Almighty! So we're between the whatever trilogy and the original trilogy, but wow, is this good? The things that I have done, I've modified my lightsaber so I do have dual-bladed lightsaber. Yes, I do. And most recently, I stopped by Kashyyyk. There you go, geek.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God. I stopped by Kashyyyk, and when I get there, holy God, the Empire has 2 AT-ATs, and they're like just bombarding a rebel encampment. So of course I scale up an AT-AT, and I take a guy out at the top and go inside the AT-AT, take out the 2 pilot guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm controlling an AT-AT, and I proceed to blow the hell up out of the other AT-AT, and then take out an Imperial encampment.
Yep.
You've never got to be inside of an AT-AT in a Star Wars game before, and that was very fulfilling. I just gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the graphics are really good on this game.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
whew, I mean, it was an 80 gig game,
80
but
gigs.
yeah.
And it's not even the latest
No,
Star Wars
Jedi
game.
Survivor is
Mhm.
also on Xbox Game Pass right now, so I'm going to finish the hell out of this so I can finish the hell out of that, and then we should be pretty close to Star Wars Outlaws.
Look, Game Pass is worth it, especially if you've got a PC, because there are so many great games out there that you can test out, you can play the hell out of, you can, do whatever you want to. And if you choose that you really want to keep the game in case you're worried about it going away, you even get a deal on the game. So it's 100% worth it. I recommend
In fact, you
it.
know what? Yes, because Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the EA store, I think, has a deal with them, so you can pick it up for $4. Or, the Glorious Edition with all your DLC for $5 right now. So
Worth it.
So that's not too shabby. I recommend playing that because that's a hell of a good time, especially since I did have to pick up an Xbox One controller because not every game acknowledged that my Switch controller was a real thing. So it was very hard trying to play that game mouse and keyboard. It was not intuitive in the slightest. So yes.
Yeah, if you're not used to
Have
mouse and
you,
keyboard, it's tricky getting used to it.
Have you, and because it's not it's full size, it's laptop size, but it's not like, standalone keyboard size too. But then have you gotten used to the buttons being like the A and the B buttons being different, or you figured that out?
Well, yeah, because, you go back in time. When the Xbox first came out, that was something that my brain vigorously tried to have to adapt to, was if I'm holding an Xbox, it's backwards. Once in a while, I will still hit what I think is the A button, but it's the B button. But for the most part, yes, I do remember.
I'm an old man. That's why I can't use controller. I'm just like, there's too many buttons over here. I don't know what to click next.
Different than the buttons on the other one. What the hell?
Exactly. If I'm using this button, there should only be one button I should be able to reach. These index fingers would be able to reach 6 buttons is insane.
That's why once my older kids came on one of the visits, brought up I forget which PlayStation they had that they brought up, so I could finally play the Uncharted games. And a PlayStation controller, I can't. So I went to freaking GameStop and I found they had it because I was like, dude, I need a PlayStation controller that's laid out like an Xbox controller. Like, oh, here you go.
I had no idea they made those. Because, see, I was a PlayStation guy. I was never an Xbox guy. I was a PlayStation guy back in the day.
Well, circles.
Everybody had one team or the other. Yeah.
Mm.
Be on the right team though. That's all I'm trying to say.
The wonderful
Yeah, mouse and keyboard now.
looks at what Chad and Abby are up to now. If you know
Rich hasn't done his sweep.
this week, you
He hasn't?
consider yourself a pro.
No.
It's fine.
It's your further.
How does that happen? How did I do a week before you did? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. It's fine. I didn't really do a whole heck of a lot.
We're just not
So
gonna do that this week.
I did. Okay. So I went back and watched all the Carrie Elwes episodes of Psych, which are a delight, where he plays the jewel thief. Absolutely love that. Watched. I think I'm almost caught up with Discovery. I think I'm an episode behind, which I'm really digging that. I'm liking
it's
what
so
they're
good.
doing. It's
It's so
heading
good.
to a delightful swan song for the series, and I think it'll be good. Although I do like taking everything. I don't remember if I mentioned this last time, but I love taking everything that Action Saru says with his lady. And even though they're so prim and proper, I always like to pretend they're saying really dirty context underneath it and stuff. Changes all of their conversations. It's a lot of fun. Dead Boy Detectives started that. I'm digging it. The only issue I have with the show is that it feels like it's aimed for a young adult audience.
That's what I thought.
Like with some of the stuff that they're doing, because like it takes them longer than it should to cotton on to things. So, but I am enjoying the performances and the stories that they're telling. So it's like, okay, it's forgivable.
Jaden's doing a good job.
What's that?
Jaden's doing a good job.
Very true. Very true. Finished Fallout. Loved the show. I look forward to how they're going to tie in the New Vegas stuff without violating kind of the established canon. So far, everything that they've shown, it can still work and it can fit. And I think that there's a lot of things that people are taking the wrong way, or not realizing that they're trusting an unreliable narrator, or all kinds of stuff, or assuming that they kept the same dates and everything like. So there's a lot of things, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that. The only experience I really have with Fallout, besides being a fan of the aesthetic, was playing a bunch of Fallout 3, but I stopped after a while because it was so mind-numbingly gray. And this was after I had played through and even beyond with all the DLCs. No, this was after I had played Skyrim.
Oh, okay. Dear God. Okay.
Yeah. And so I went to that and I was like, I can't. I need something with color. I have to play something with color.
It's not good for your mental health.
Yeah. Cause that was, it was just like, so, but because of the show, enjoying the show so much, I actually started playing just a smidge of Fallout 76.
Okay.
I wasn't going to play it when it first came out because of all of the issues and stuff like that came with it. But I got it free through Amazon Prime. Thank you for that. Because of the launch of the show, they're making it available, I believe, maybe still, maybe not anymore. I'm not sure when the cutoff is. It might actually be on the 10th, which is tomorrow as of recording. But I think it's just about all of the Fallout games. But you can also get a free count for Fallout 76. And so for Xbox or PC. And so I kind of started it out, just not really, doing a whole lot into it, but just playing like a little bit, like gathering some stuff and whatnot. And I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to playing it because I like there's a lot of neat things about it. So that's pretty much been my Geeky Week.
Oh. Well, yeah. No, I was very concerned about the show itself because I was like, they can't do New Vegas. They can't. And not first season, you can't. But I'm still a little concerned. As great of a job as they've done, I'm still a little concerned what they're going to do because New Vegas, you've got to get that absolutely right.
Yeah, I have faith that they will.
It's the same universe. It's not it's not the same characters and everything, right?
Not the same characters, but they are saying that it's canon. Like the show is canon, and the only flexibility they have is, and this is where they are going to lose some of the players. They have to pick one of the endings as the canon ending.
Yes.
So, and that's going to be a little tricky. One of my kids was telling me about there was some other game or show where what they did was they tried to say that all of the endings from the previous game were canon, and it was multiple universes and stuff like that. And it was just like, no, that's dumb. That makes no sense to that.
I don't want to do that way. But what I would really love is like for several factions to come to an end. But from their point of view, it is one of the various endings from their point of view. So a bunch of endings could be.
That's good.
And if they do it right, they'll just be a nice cloud, and we'll never actually effing know, which is exactly how it should be.
Right, exactly. But yeah, no, the Fallout series, I mean, just again, one thing that people have to realize, anytime something is adapted to a different medium, there's going to be changes. They have to make the story pliable to make the game playable, and vice versa if they're bringing it into a scripted format. And so people just need to get over themselves, because if the show is good, it shouldn't matter. Just pretend it's what we do with the Constantine movie starring Keanu Reeves. It's a fun Constantine movie, but a terrible Hellblazer movie. Elseworlds.
Constantine, not Constantine.
Mr. Constantine.
Right.
Fair. Fine, I'll push the button.
The wonderful Billy Flynn looks at what
I swear I heard this
Andrea
already.
up to now. If you know what TV show they're on this week, you could win yourself a prize. It's your Further Adventures of Chad and Abby update.
Abby tries to deal with a new assistant at work and a lost blankie at home. Then she gets some advice from TV moms Margaret Anderson and June Cleaver. And with this knowledge, Abby manages to get her way into an intensive learning course for Charlotte. But the experience might be too intense for Abby. Abby has to look at her life when she begins to fear that, like her father, she'll die of a heart attack. Shit just got serious. Abby is fighting the dark shadows, but this new mom thing has a feeling like one of the rookies, but really, she has no regrets as she faces the neonite reverberation, the bairn blasting, the tot thrumming. Hashtag Chabby forever.
Looks like you've got mail waiting.
I was particularly proud of that one. Those are some good words. I like that.
Just sounded naughty.
They, in a way, it is. Damn, I'm old. I remember watching Whiz Kids on its first run. The high-tech world of not only having a portable computer, but a portable modem you could put into a payphone receiver so you could connect to the network while on the go. Such wide-eyed techno-optimism. Whatever happened to that? That is from Mad Sci. Mad Sci, yes, absolutely. The last time Chad and Abby were on the show, Whiz Kids, hey, a bunch of kids and they've got computers. You watched War Games, right? Now it's a bunch of kids with computers and they're going to help the police. Whoa.
Whoa.
Only got one season and that's sad. But no, sir, we drew your name. So you got to talk to us because we got to send ye a prize. And if you want to know what prizes are about, by all means, you've got a chance to win one because you can say where Chad and Abby currently are. And if you've got your best guess of all, send it to us at podcast@geekradiodaily.com. Or, of course, you can send it by voicemail or text message. Either way, you're going to need the phone number of
510 GRD Crew.
It's important. And this month, you'll actually get more than one show to try to figure out. So, hey, it could be a little easier. It would have been easier if you'd actually watched Whiz Kids. I mean, damn it, that was a good show. You really, really, really should have given it a chance. Really.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds? Necrophilia. It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore. Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. Watching this film again, I had all of this like little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history
up.
doll popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was.
How
gonna be
did
a
you
rough
watch
one.
this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
Hi, this is for a Geek Radio Daily. Sweep the leg from Marty Sensei Cove.
I know losing me and Grace broke you. But you don't know how lucky you have it. The book of life is closed for the two of us. But you can still turn a page. You get to keep writing the story of your life.
Why bother without you?
Because there are more tales to tell, Hicks. As long as you're alive, you can always start another chapter. So live while you can. Love while you can. God damn it. Dream bigger.
That all sounds pretty romantic. Coming from a girl who doesn't believe in romantic love.
I don't believe in romantic love.
That's my girl.
But I do believe in you.
Is that Rosario Dawson?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dawson.
She doesn't believe in love unless you get her in front of a movie's bouncing. Oh, no, wait. That's when I believe in love. Sorry.
You didn't notice from my intro that was Rosario Dawson? Come on now. Come on. It's Rosario Dawson's birthday, everybody.
Ooh.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. And yes, I'm available for spankings.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
Geek News!
Let's take a look at the world from a geeky point of view.
Billy Flynn is available for spankings, and it doesn't even have to be with a magazine with his face on it. Musician Post Malone and filmmaker Michael Bay are pairing their talents for a new IP universe, which will launch with an as yet unnamed graphic novel through Vault Comics. The untitled story, which Post Malone describes as badass, and Bay describes as just what the graphic world needs right now, will center on a premise so bizarre and non sequitur it might actually work. Set in a fictionalized version of medieval Europe, the only thing standing in the way of a horde of zombies so massive it could engulf the entire continent is an 18-wheeler truck sent straight from heaven. Which, of course, to me sounds like Army of Darkness had sex with BJ and the Bear while Touched by an Angel sat in the corner and watched, but whatever. While the implications of that idea are staggering and the questions it raises are many, it certainly makes sense that Michael Bay, who directed the original Transformers and many of its sequels, would be into a story about a Super 18-wheeler from somewhere far away. This being a new IP universe means that it will likely only be starting in comics and will probably end up in everything else. Along with being untitled, the story also does not yet have an announced creative team. Creative. It's unclear how involved Post Malone and Michael Bay will be in the actual creation of the comic, though Post Malone's own statement indicates he's seemingly going to be at least a little hands-on. I feel like if I'm going to do I should probably...
Here's my Post Malone. Is that auto-tune?
Probably not auto-tune enough.
Man. You're a bad man.
I'm so pumped to share this badass story with the world, and I couldn't ask for better partners than Michael Bay and Vault to help bring this story to life. Meanwhile, Vault Comics CEO Damien Wessel said that we're going to bring the world a mind-blowing graphic novel, and that's just the beginning. We get to work with an exceptional artist at the top of his game to build a completely original story from ground up. And Michael Bay, the guy who directed the Aaron Burr Got Milk commercial.
You know, you got to remember those trailblazing moments.
I also have entertainment news.
Yeah.
If anyone...
I totally went to go do this one, and then I saw that you had taken it. So good job, Carol.
Anyone who knows me knows I'm a tiny bit of a Tolkien nerd. So I just have the man's initials tattooed on my body. But so I was very happy this morning when Warner Brothers announced that it will release the first in its new batch of live-action Lord of the Rings films in 2026, which will focus on Andy Serkis's Gollum. Original Lord of the Rings trilogy filmmaker Peter Jackson and his partners Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens are producing the movie and will be involved every step of the way, according to Warner Brothers. The project is currently in the early stages of script development from writers Walsh and Boyens, along with Phoebe Gittins and Artie Papagiorgio. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Artie. And will explore storylines yet to be told.
He's writing a hate letter right now.
In a press release from Warner Brothers later this morning, the studio revealed that the working title of the film is Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, and will be directed by and star Andy Serkis in his iconic titular role. The film will be executive produced by Ken Kamins, with Serkis and Imaginarium's Jonathan Cavendish. A separate animated Middle-earth movie, The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim, is due December 13th via Warner Brothers and director Kenji Kamiyama. That movie is set 200 years before the events of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
So I'm hesitant about this, mostly because although I own them and I watch them regularly, the Hobbit movies are not really good films. And this is going to be interesting because if it's dealing with the hunt for Gollum, it takes place right smack dab in the middle of the Fellowship of the Ring, and I'm wondering who they're going to cast as Aragorn. So, of course, it doesn't fucking matter because I'll watch it anyway.
Yeah, right. No matter all the qualms I had about it, I'm like, well, I'm still going to watch it.
I sat in a movie theater 9 hours when they released The Battle of the Five Armies. We did the 3-movie marathon.
Oh, see.
We sat in the movie theater. We created our own little blanket fort and sat in a movie theater for 9 hours.
We had PVC pipe.
Did you do like bathroom breaks in between and snack breaks?
Yeah.
And yeah, whew, that's a long.
No,
day.
they held it the whole time. That was their dedication.
They locked us in, man.
Diapers.
You can't leave this.
You shall not leave.
You shall not pass. That's the wrong movie.
Still, that's pretty cool. My news is kind of shitty.
Okay.
Just kidding. It's actually it's flush with innovation and education. It is actually about toilets and poop. Apparently, there is a new exhibit in Seattle, funded by the Gates Foundation, that's all about poop. I mean, if you know that Melinda and Bill Gates have a foundation, and they're working on reducing childhood illness and death all around the world. So they've increased vaccines, clean water access, right? They're all about kind of improving the third world. And, where people go is not always very sanitary in third world countries and other places around the world. We have it very nice here in the United States. So everybody poops. It's an ongoing exhibit called A Better Way to Go, Toilets and the Future of Sanitation. There's a couple of scientists. It's actually pretty interesting because there's different sections to it. There's like how to say the word poop in all the different languages of the world. There's like the journey of that your food takes throughout your body, the biology of it, what happens when you have unsafe waste handling and untreated sewage, right? What could possibly be the future? They even have an unused ever before toilet that they've converted into a drinking fountain. Would you drink out of the toilet water fountain? I mean, it's filtered. I don't know. They also have like pooparium that are like terrariums that are grown, like plants grown with like straight up poop. There is a whole bunch of different like cool exhibits in this. So, I mean, I've always been kind of like fascinated with poop and like just the science of it. And it's one of those things where it's like, it could have a big impact on the world in all seriousness. Like, you think, oh, it's just some joke and we could, poo-poo on the whole thing, but it really could end up saving lives and making the world a better place for a lot of people. So if you're in the Seattle area, you should check it out.
Well, and everybody does it. So, I mean,
wow.
Everybody poo.
How about that shit? Yeah, right there. That's
Sometimes.
So, kids, Blade Runner franchise is expanding. Michelle Yeoh is set to star in a Blade Runner 2099 television series, a sequel to Blade Runner 2049. Of course, Blade Runner, Harrison Ford, directed by Ridley Scott, was released in 1982 and has a massive cult following based upon the novel George Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. A sequel to Blade Runner 2049, was released in 2017 from Dune director Denis Villeneuve. And it was good, in spite of Jared Leto. Details of Yeoh's role are under wraps, but the show's plot is also under wraps. You don't know. Basically, there's probably going to be replicants. Production recently did begin overseas following a delay of nearly a year due to the double strikes of 2023. And while it originally had been set to shoot in Belfast, the show wound up relocating to Prague following the work stoppage, which works great since, in Prague, all the owls do have glowing eyes. I'm cautiously optimistic about this because I absolutely loved Blade Runner when I first saw it. And I mean, that was with Deckard's voiceover. I dug Blade Runner 2049, but how do we follow it up? I mean, is Scott being involved in this a good thing? Because we thought that for Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I'm just, don't get my hopes up, or I might have to flip a tortoise on its back. A TV series is a good idea. Let's be honest. Neither Blade Runner movies performed wonders at the box office. Great sci-fi films, not popcorn movies for casual audiences, and I'm not sure you could actually get a third Blade Runner movie actually made unless you severely cut that budget. So, yeah, we should do this as a series. We should, before they give up on the whole Blade Runner thing. Can you imagine if there was no more and Blade Runner is just like lost in time? Like Tears in the Rain? GRD is licensed with Creative Commons Attribution, non-commercial, non-derivative works, 963 for the license. Come check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, some on the website at geekradiodaily.com. Whew. And yeah, drop a note.
Ding.
Suggest things and all kinds of stuff. Try to enter a contest, win prizes. I've got things. Hell, I've got all kinds of video games. We gave out prizes at the, I'd have to look. I don't remember what all we did give away.
I won my first game and Hell No shown up.
Hey!
That's right. Carol was the winner.
I don't think I've ever won one. Yeah.
You do spend the most time with Mark.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, we do.
So are you the winner?
Oh, snap.
I'm kidding.
That just happened, son. Drop a note to podcast at geekradiodaily.com. Of course, the voicemail, the text message, you just need to send it to
510 GRD Grill.
I like that she remembered that was her.
Well, folks, I am out of here.
So here's where I realized that I actually played the stinger as the return thing, which I do at the cons, and I had it on the screen. I had it on the screen in the wrong place, and I was playing that going, okay, this is cool, but wait, what am I playing at the end of the show? Oh, God, I'm playing this now. I'm not supposed to be playing this now. So I could play it again or something else by Rosario Dawson because it's Rosario Dawson's birthday. I don't know if I've said that.
Okay.
Rosario Dawson. Because for as much as I talk about Justin Hartley, Rosario Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
You're not wrong.
I'm not. I am not in any way, shape, or form am I wrong about that. Not in the slightest. Because right here on the final of my Cartwall, the final page, yeah, there it is. But somehow I had it on the page where I have all of our stuff, when the news drops, all that. It's over there as well. I don't know why that was there. But I was like, oh my God, we got to play this because we're coming back from break, forgetting that we're not at a convention.
Womp womp.
Oh, but Rich, you missed it. I had 2 clips from Bodies, Bodies, Bodies for RavenCon.
Right.
Nice.
I mean, I guess he's attractive. I mean, a podcast is hard work.
Very true.
Wait. I forget. Did you ever go and see this movie or no?
I did.
No, I know you did.
Yeah.
Rich, did you see it?
I can't remember the last movie I saw in the theater, actually.
It's
on streaming.
It's on
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Oh,
Did you see Bodies,
not
Bodies,
yet,
Bodies?
no.
Okay, all right, then I'm
You would
sorry.
dig it.
You all were there and you heard this, but Rich?
It's pitiful how you won't stop making fun of her stupid little podcast. Let her have the podcast. I don't know what you're talking about. You listen to her podcast. Wait, what? And you made us swear on our lives not to tell anyone.
Jordan, is that true?
I like your podcast, Alice.
What is your podcast about? Hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend. Did you just groan?
No.
When I said hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend. Like that. Like that. You just did it again.
No, I didn't.
First of all, a podcast takes a lot of work, okay? You have to organize the guests, you have to do a Google Calendar, and you build a following. It takes a long time, and I've been working on it for a while.
That whole scene is just gold.
Oh my goodness.
When we watched it, I was like, you need to get all of this as drops.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
But no, man, do yourself
It's not a movie about podcasts. It's
not in any way.
It's just one of the
It's just
characters
a wonderful,
does a podcast.
beautiful moment. And there's a couple of things, but that's the moment. But God, dude, that movie is well worth your time.
Okay.
Don't read a goddamn thing about it. Just go watch that movie blind, and you're gonna be like, okay, I see what you did. Very nice.
Right, 3 bodies. Okay.
Yeah.
Bodies, bodies, bodies.
Bodies cubed.
Right, 3 body problem. Okay.
3. Yeah, that's so
There's
funny.
3 movies that are like that. There's a 3 body problem, 3 bodies, and then bodies, bodies, bodies.
And then just Bodies. There's a show called just Bodies. That's the prequel to Bodies, Bodies. Actually, it's the prequel to Bodies, Bodies.
And I think you'll all agree with me. There's not a problem when you have 3 bodies. There's not a problem.
Yeah, but then they're skipping bodies, bodies, which would be bodies squared. So
but see, we've been doing that for so long, we had to spice things up, so we needed bodies, bodies, bodies.
Oh, so it's bodies, bodies, bodies. The search for bodies squared.
To Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Body Loo. Good times. So there's that. So if today is what? Today's the 9th?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So the 23rd then. Haha.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Sounds about right.
I'll have to get started on a new show right now. Yeah.
And that works because week after that I got Con Carolina, so
There you go.
it'll be the off week.
And leave myself a note to play the stinger at the end of the show.
We're we cut back on our cons a lot, but I really wanted to do Convivial, but we were in Disney this year, so I think maybe I'll look at that one. It's hard right after the holidays, but like if I could afford Disney right after the holidays, I think I can afford a con. Right?
Yeah, we were thinking of doing Convivial next year as well. It's just such a hell of a drive. It's a 5-hour drive. So. RavenCon's
Yeah,
not
that's
that
the
much.
one that's up. Isn't it here in Williamsburg?
It's in Williamsburg.
Is that the hotel where RavenCon
Bye,
was for part of the
guys.
time?